Loaded show ahead here on this edition of Seattle Seahawks Today. Tyler Jones here with you. We are talking about a potential return to Seattle for Quandre Diggs. How likely is that? We'll investigate here in just a matter of moments. Also, we have our first top 30 visit for the Seattle Seahawks, and a bit of a surprising name as John Rhys Plumlee, the UCF quarterback, is meeting with the Seattle Seahawks. We'll tell you more about that meeting and what that could mean for the Seahawks potentially drafting Plumlee in just a matter of moments. Quick survey before we get this show started. I want to know, do you believe in the direction the Seattle Seahawks are going with John Schneider and Mike Macdonald and how they've operated things so far in this new era of Seahawks football? If you believe, like today's video. If not, if you are not a believer, comment and tell me why. I'm very curious. Tell me how you feel one way or the other, and we'll get started with today's show. Quandre Diggs, could he make his return to the Seattle Seahawks? Well, on X, formerly known as Twitter, he left open the possibility of returning to the Seahawks. And let's put it this way. It all started with a fake Twitter account. I'm not going to give this guy the time of day and give him the attention and publicity he's looking for. So we're not even going to show you that tweet. And that's by our judgment, our choice here. But this fake account put out this complete lie that Quandre Diggs was not wanting to return to Seattle, that he had shut that door, and that it was over with. And then Quandre Diggs followed that up with a quote tweet and said, "Bro, who is this dude? Never spoke to this guy." So Quandre Diggs shutting down that false rumor, if you will, that he's not interested in potentially coming back. So then with that said, if you do bring in Quandre Diggs after a disappointing season in 2023, what are you expecting? Well, Doug Farrar, who covers the National Football League, he did some scouting on Quandre Diggs recently, and I stumbled upon this, and I thought it was an interesting nugget. Quandre Diggs is a really interesting free agent. I don't see any drop in athletic ability last season, but the landmarks in Seattle's defense were just odd at times. There are times when your off year isn't all your responsibility. And I agree. While Diggs' down year wasn't all his fault, I do think he's partially responsible, but it wasn't all his fault. I think that's very true. Two things can be true at once here. But with what we've seen, with the changes the Seahawks have made, with their most recent additions over the last couple days here, I think it's pretty obvious that the Seahawks are going a different direction, that Quandre Diggs is not a part of their future plans at that safety position, with what they've already invested with Wallace and with Jenkins, among others, and already having Julian Love there. The Seahawks are going younger, they're going cheaper, and Quandre Diggs, unless he wants to be a backup and play for a very small contract, there's likely not a role for Quandre Diggs when it comes to the Seattle Seahawks defense. I like Quandre. He's a 12 through and through. He meant a lot to this organization, but the days are behind him. This Seahawks team is going a different direction. They saved $11 million against the cap when they cut him back on March 5th. I know he's a three-time Pro Bowler and everything. Nobody's denying that Quandre Diggs was a good football player and meant a lot to the Seattle Seahawks organization. But the Seahawks have said they're moving on. They're doing something different here. So I would be shocked if Quandre Diggs was back in Seattle at this point. What do you guys think? Our pinned comment today: should the Seahawks bring back Quandre Diggs? Why for yes and for no? Weigh in the comment section. Tell us what you think, if Seattle should bring Diggs back or not. Today's show is sponsored by Prize Picks. Prize Picks is the place to go for daily fantasy made easy. Here's how it works. Choose two or more players on any given category. Get the choice of more or less, whether you're talking fantasy points, maybe it's rebounds in basketball, goals in hockey, maybe it's home runs in baseball, all sorts of different categories to choose from. The NCAA tournament is underway this week. And I got to tell you, I'm so excited about March Madness. We all know about Caitlin Clark and the terrific story that's going on there with that Iowa team. And this is just a freebie at this point. They're offering on Prize Picks more than half a point for Caitlin Clark. She could do that in her sleep, folks. Should get half a point. And then I got Terrence Shannon Jr. from the Illinois Fighting Illini. They're taking on Morehead State on Thursday. And I got him to go for more than 17.5 points. He had just over 40 points a few days ago in the Big Ten tournament. So I think he can get over 17.5. Play along with us. PrizePicks.com/CLNS. Promo code CLNS for a $100 deposit match. And you'll be glad you did. Link is in the comments and description of today's video. Go find your one shining moment with Prize Picks now. See what I did there? All right. Top 30 visit update rolling in has this one a bit of a shocker, but the more I read into it, the more I like it. You guys know I'm a Big 12 football fan. I've seen a lot of John Rhys Plumlee the last season or so with what he did at UCF. And he's getting a top 30 visit with the Seahawks. And to kind of sum up how these top 30 visits work is that you only have a certain number of players that can meet with the organization at the facility before the draft begins, and they're using one of their visits on Plumlee here. Bit of surprise, but listen to this. Plumlee was on the Paul Feinbaum show on the SEC Network. Hey, Paul! He said the following here. Hopeful to get an opportunity, but like you said, I can do a lot of things. I think I can be a weapon in many different ways. But I also think that if you ask me, I'm one of the best 32 quarterbacks in the world. Given the opportunity, I think I am and I will be. Here's the bottom line when it comes to Plumlee. I know that he is not anywhere on most people's draft boards at the quarterback position. But he is such an incredible athlete. And we'll have more on this here in just a second. Don't think of him like a traditional pocket quarterback. I would think of him like an athlete that can do multiple things. Maybe it's a Taysom Hill role potentially. Maybe he ends up just being a backup quarterback, whatever it may be. There's a lot of different things that this guy potentially could do at the next level. I know some of you are saying, like, well, why would you draft a quarterback when you just traded for Sam Howell? This isn't your everyday quarterback here. This is an athlete. Think about it this way. More on his resume. Played for UCF. Before that was at Ole Miss. Was a two-sport athlete in college as he was a baseball player for the Golden Knights there. And, folks, we talk about just the experience there. Played center field. Started 58 games this past season. So it wasn't just one of these quarterbacks that was a pitcher like we typically see in baseball. I mean, this guy was out there, snagging balls and everything. 24/7 Sports, which is one of the big recruiting outlets that does a great job, they called Plumlee, going into 2023, the most dynamic athlete in the nation. That's some high praise. In his career, Plumlee threw for 34 touchdowns, 28 rushing touchdowns, threw for nearly 6,000 passing yards, over 2,500 rushing yards. He's something special. I'm very impressed with just seeing the scouting report. Now, we'll go over some more stuff on him in just a second, but I got to tell you, it's intriguing, isn't it? And the possibilities of what you could do with this guy. Listen to this from On3, what they had to say about Plumlee's situation here. Plumlee did not receive an invite to last month's NFL Combine. However, he's been working with Patrick Mahomes' quarterback coach, Jeff Christensen, in anticipation of next week's inaugural Big 12 Pro Day at the Star in Frisco, Texas. So it's a pretty good company when you're working with Patrick Mahomes' own quarterback coach. More on Plumlee. He's an elite creative threat. He has an instant explosiveness in the open field, a very tough competitor. This is a guy that wants it badly. He's versatile in the background as a runner and a receiver as well, so that makes the potential transition to another position intriguing. The one knock, he's a little indecisive at times, so that could be something to monitor there. When it's all said and done, I don't know exactly what the Seahawks would do when it comes to Plumlee, but I'll tell you this right now, there is a role for him in some way, shape, or form. Whether it's backup quarterback, whether it's playing receiver or something, they'll find a way to get him on the field. Heck of an athlete, It's very tempting. So, what do you guys think of Plumlee? Should the Seahawks draft him? Type D for draft, P for pass. Weigh in the comments section. Let us know if you'd like to bring Plumlee to Seattle or not. If you enjoyed today's show, of course you did. Like today's video. We certainly appreciate it, and we'll see you next time right here on Seahawks Today.